Ahead of the 33rd African Union Summit, the African Youth Consultation taking place on the sidelines of the AU Summit will see regional youth leaders discuss the underlying drivers of conflict. They will recognize that guns can be silenced if African youths are given the economic opportunities that dissuade them from taking up arms. Let's get more on this story. Joining us now to discuss is the Transparency and Accountability Manager of One Africa, Edwin Ukwara. Thank you so much for joining us on the program.
Thank you too for having me.
Now, conflicts across the continent have been going on for years across Africa, with violent prevalence in the Libyan parts of the Sahel. I beg your pardon, in Libya, parts of the Sahel, also we have in Mali, parts of Nigeria, South Sudan, the Central African Republic, the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. The list is endless. Why is the African Union deciding to put this on the agenda now?
I think it is time to just bring the debate again to see what is working and what is not working. It is good to note that since they adopted the plan, or what you call the roadmap for achieving silencing the guns, by 2020, most of the conflicts that we have now are more intra-country conflicts than inter-country conflict that we saw before. So let us say there is some good progress, but we still see these conflicts happening internally in each of the African countries. It is time to begin to discuss the sustainable solutions. And this is why there is a need right now to have this debate. Is it working? Are the steps we are taking working? Are they enough? And that is why this year, as they are putting this theme again, is to reassess where they are in the fight against us, in the fight to end, gun violence in a nutshell.
Yeah, this year's consultation will include African Union Youth Envoy Aya Chebi, regional youth leaders, global non-profit organizations, and the One Campaign, and other stakeholders. What exactly is the role of the youth in silencing the guns in Africa?
The question is how do the youth view that process? And I think from the consultation we've done today, the overriding solution that has come up is that you cannot silence the guns if you don't silence unemployment. And that is the message that is coming out right now. To say, in order to silence the guns, you have to first of all silence unemployment. That is the sustainable solution. That is a sustainable way to ensure that internally in member states, the issue of conflict and violence can totally be eradicated. When youths are employed, when the youths are engaged, when the youths are productive and they can take care of themselves, then the opportunity costs of leaving their jobs and their economic activities to join in conflict will be too high for them. And this is the solution that the African Union youths, or the youths in the African Union, are currently proposing.
Yeah, leaders of the AU are also gathering for the summit. What recommendations do you, have for these leaders, even as they meet?
So the first thing is that it has to be an economic solution. So most of the attempts that have been made are very much structured towards, eradicating the proliferation of small arms, reducing, conflict prevention and all of that. But the question here is that, and this is the recommendation we are making, you cannot go very far if the young people who are the fuel for conflict, because even if conflicts are derived by power dynamics and all of that, these foot soldiers, the people who are really used to drive these conflicts, are the young people. So we say if we take them away from doing such conflict, if we take them away from those kind of positions where you give them economic opportunities, this is where you really want. This is the way to sustainably fight, the violence on the continent and silencing the guns. So the recommendation here is empower the young people, create jobs for them. 230 million jobs will be needed between now and 2030 when we want to achieve the SDGs. We need to begin to think about creative ways of making sure that these jobs are available and the youths are engaged and they're empowered.
All right, then, Edwin Ukwara, the Transparency and Accountability Manager of One Africa. Thank you for speaking to us on Network Africa.
Thank you very much.